Peace and blessings. Namaste. To all light warriors, workers, and everything in between, it is I, Sophie, today, and I have a few messages that I'm going to try to condense into this one transmission, okay? First of all, I want to start with the divine feminine and what actually happened yesterday, okay, in the higher realms, and I'm going to show how this is getting ready to trickle down, okay? So let's start off with this. I took a nap in between the days yesterday. You know, I had to take my mother to an appointment. We came back, and hospitals are very draining for me, okay? I mean, immediately when I leave a hospital, I have to go straight to sleep, okay? And I typically do that for a couple of hours, and then I refresh and rejuvenate, and then I can roll. So, you know, I came home, and I took a power nap in the middle of the day, and I was transitioned over. Okay, and when I transitioned over, the first thing that I saw was I saw two pictures, like two images, you know, of a male and a female. Okay, and these males and these females, these were pairings. They were like elevating themselves off of works of others, you know, off of the backs of others, you know, after modeling themselves after all of the hard work that a lot of people have done, you know, and taking the work, reclaiming it as their own, and just elevating that way, right? And I remember, like, in this vision that I was screaming, you know, because there was a lot of masculines and feminines that were like really hurt by this. And they were bringing to my attention that this has been a perpetual thing throughout eons and eons. People trying to take crowns and crown someone else with it, okay? Trying to mimic energy, copycat energy, using tales that belong to, you know, a certain group of people and spinning it to be their own, you know, things of that nature. And I remember screaming, enough is enough. And I was screaming and I was pounding the ground. And when I was pounding the ground, it was like shock waves started going out, right? And I was screaming and I was like, enough is enough. Like, we're done with this, okay? We are done with all of this negative energy, okay? So that was one thing that was happening. And when I woke up, I couldn't really recall while I was upset. Like, it took a while, and I started seeing images of what it was that I was actually seeing. Because, you know, sometimes we dream or we go into visions, and then when we come back, we can't recall everything that was happening. But it was a lot more detailed than that. I just don't find it very appropriate for this this transmission. So I just decided not to go that deep into it. Okay. So, you know, that was one thing that happened. The second thing that happened was I remember, okay, that I was in a realm, you know, and I was talking, you know, with the elves, and we were discussing, you know, the earth realm, you know, the material realm, and, you know, still doing these algorithms and things like that, and trying to figure out how we make this right. Like, how do we bring justice back when it came down to certain injustices? And I remembered that all of a sudden, you divine feminists, like, it was a lot of goddesses that just came out, okay? And as I was talking to the elves, these goddesses was like, come with us, you know? And I was like, okay, I'll leave. And so I went with the rest of the goddesses, and they got into a circle. Like, we all got into a circle, you know, and started saying this one little chant. And it is it's a universal principle, okay, that we were chanting. And I now realize, you know, as they were showing me images of what was going on, I realized what it is that we were doing there and how it has to trickle down. And I always told you, okay, it's not a, you know, a competition or anything like that. I'm going to share with you what I learned, okay? And if we all do this together, we continually grow, we transform our world, right? So what I was being shown, and this is important to you, divine feminines, okay? And not saying that there might not be masculines that fall in line with this too, okay? It could happen to some of you, but most of the time when we were dealing with this is for divine feminines. Some of you okay, that have this real unique gift, okay, that have come here to really transform this world, to really be that lighthouse, to really be that potent. You know, many of you have been targeted, right? You have been targeted with your finances or your love life, but a lot of times it was with your beauty and your self-esteem. And some of your journeys, you were paired with masculines that tried to destroy your self-esteem, tried to destroy your self-worth, tried to make it feel like that they, you know, themselves were the reason why you were where you were. And not only that, but in some instances that you weren't even good enough, right? And it started to play on your self-esteem on a subconscious level, okay? Especially if you're in your 50s and older, you know, a lot of you don't want to really show your face, you know, or you're feeling like you're in competition to a mainstream line of beauty or things like that, because maybe you had some people that were targeting you, okay, targeting your weight, targeting, you know, anything to try to make you look unattractive. And even if it was on a subconscious level mentally, you know, just making you feel like you were inadequate. Maybe you were dealing with a masculine who had wandering eyes all the time. You're outside in public and he's looking at other women, and now you're looking at yourself going, you know, well, what do I have to do to look like that? Or what do I have to do to try to be that? Or I'm not going to be good enough. When I told you masks off, okay, in the previous video, I just got a real good understanding of what it is I meant, okay? So what these divine feminine, what the goddesses have done, all right, is they started getting in a circle and they started bringing forth the universal principles so that the mask can come off, okay? And they were doing it in this manner. They were saying, as above, so below, as within, so without, okay? But they only was harping on the second portion of that. As within, so without. As within, so without. And so I find myself with them, you know, saying the exact same thing. As within, so without. Now, what's getting ready to happen, Divine Feminines? Why did we say that? Because, let's put it this way. You ever have a crush on somebody? Okay, you thought that person was the finest thing since sliced bread, right? And you were just like, you know, that they're so beautiful. And masculines, you can fall in line with this too. Oh, that person is so beautiful, and this, that, and the third, right? And then one day, you wake up, and they're no longer attractive to you. And you can't figure out why. You know, they didn't change their appearance, but you're not looking at them the same. When we started to say the as within, so without, we are calling forth the inner beauty now. Here's how this is going to affect you. Remember when I said we'd all be transformed in the twinkling of an eye? As within, so without. As within, so without. Okay? What we're doing now is we're showing those who have beautiful spirits, okay? Those who have beautiful, loving, and caring spirits. Your physical appearance is going to transition to reflect that of the inner you. Okay? So get ready to start seeing yourself differently. Get ready to start seeing your real beauty. Other people are going to start seeing that too. Okay? When you're saying, as within, so without, now you're going to bring that soul beauty into a physical manifestation. So get ready for your transformations. Okay? It may seem subtle at first, but the way you're going to start to see yourself and the way others are going to start to see you is going to transition from the ugly duckling, okay, or the insecure person, to the beautiful energy that is resting within. It is going to show. You will transform. And you're going to transform right in the face of your enemies. Right in the face of your enemies. Now, on the flip side of that, as within, so without. So is the ugly souls. Okay? Now, the ones that are dark, the ones that are envious, the ones that are ugly, the ones that are targeting people, and this, that, and the third, you're really going to start see them transitioning from this beautiful creature to the way that you see them. Creature. Troll. Okay? When their soul expression start to manifest in the material world, the people that you may have been attracted to, now you're going to see them with different sets of eyes. Not just you, but others. This is part of the disclosure. Divine feminines, if you are beautiful, divine masculines too. Sorry, I don't want to leave y'all out. Okay, but I was dealing with the feminine aspect of the sun. But some of you have fallen victim of this too, so it's only right that I say this. Those who had the outer beauty, but the inward ugliness, you're going to see that manifest physically. You're no longer going to be drawn to that. Okay, your spiritual eyes is going to take over your physical eyes, and you're going to see exactly who everyone is. All right, mask off. Remember, I told you, mask off. On the flip side of that, you who have been stricken with low self-esteem, okay, who have been told that you weren't good enough, who was told that you weren't pretty enough, or was told that you weren't this and that, and you took that upon yourself, and you wanted to remain hidden. All right, now your beauty is getting ready to be magnified in front of the face of all of your enemies, especially if you were targeted because of your beauty. All right, you wonder why one day you may have overlooked somebody, saw them, every day and was like, that person's all right. And then one day you look at them and like, wow, you know what I mean? They are gorgeous, or this person is beautiful. That's because it's part of the disclosure, you see. The soul, the spirit, is getting ready to govern the physical realm. You will be transformed, and you're going to start to see yourself differently, and you're going to start to see others differently too. As within, so without. All right, now we were saying this as a divine feminine collective. All of the goddesses were saying that we were tired. We were tired. We were tired of being, compared to, or, having this person that I wish this person had her type of beauty, or not beauty, her type of understanding, her type of gifts, but look like this. And no. We're not here to please you. Okay, get over yourselves. All right, we need to start there first. Get over yourselves. Now, what's getting ready to happen is you're going to notice, those of you with spiritual eyes, that some people are literally transforming right in front of your face. Okay, they're either transforming into the swan, or they're going to transform into the ugly duckling. However they do it, you yourself are going to be able to see it and notice it. Okay, so I told you what to say in your meditations. Before you start to say this in your meditations, make sure you are pure. Make sure that you don't have any ugliness, okay, in you. So whatever you need to forgive, forgive. Whatever you need to clean out, clean out. Whatever you need to purge, just purge, okay? Now, and we all got stuff we got to purge, all right? We all got it. There ain't nobody walking here perfect. We messing up, okay? That's what we do. That's part of this experience. That's a part of this journey, all right? The big thing is, you don't want to harp on it, okay? You don't want to make it a part of your reality, a part of your existence, a part of your identity. You have to learn how to disconnect your experience from your identity. It does not have to be a part of you. You ever heard people say, oh, that's just the way that I am? That's only the way that you are, because that's the way that you choose to remain. It's not who you really are. But if you gravitate to whatever trauma or experience or disappointment, and you bring that into you to make that a part of your reality, yeah, you're never going to change. You're never going to change. So during this time, as within, so without, pay attention to the people around you. All right, we got that out of the way. Here's something that's a little bit heavier. So this is for, I'm targeting now those who deal in magic, okay? That deal in any type of craft, that deal into any type of free will manipulation. All right? You know who you are, okay? background doing spell works, love spells, binding spells, ugly spells, death spells, whatever you think you're doing. Here's what y'all didn't know, okay? And I keep trying to educate you on these things, but, apparently some people don't get it, so only when the universe starts, then they get it. A lot of these practitioners are calling upon your ancestors to do work against you. And your ancestors, this is going to get a little bit funny, okay? If you can identify with it, if it resonates with you. Your ancestors are making promises to these spiritual practitioners that they can get things done. These spiritual practitioners are believing the ancestors that this is going to get done, that you're going to get targeted, and so these practitioners are sitting around waiting. Well, when is the towers coming? There's never going to be any towers. Your ancestors are allowing themselves to be used so that they can enact justice against their enemies. Hold on. See, this is the information you get when you talk to the divine. When you're dealing in the ancestral realm, when you're dealing with the Elohim. A lot of them don't know, okay? Because let's be honest, spiritual practitioners, occultists and stuff, they deal with, mainly the earthly realm, right? And a lot of the magic and spell work can work against others who are residing in the earthly realm. Okay? So, if I'm a spiritual practitioner and I hate Shanae, and I want to target Shanae because I believe Shanae has done me some type of injustice, right? Shanae is already vibing low. So therefore, if I conduct a spell or something like that, and there is a charge against Shanae, okay, that law can go into effect. Okay, it always comes back though, but it will go into effect. However, if I'm on a 3D realm, okay, and I'm doing magic from the earth realm against a divine being that's not even on the same dimensional consciousness space, what's going to happen is it's going to bypass that person. Say that person is innocent. When the spell work goes out, and they find that there is no charge against that person, it comes back and it goes to the person that puts it out. Somebody's got to pay for it. You summoned it. Okay? You summoned it. It just don't disappear. It goes right back to you. Your ancestors and some of the Elohim, this is for beings of the light. This is for beings of the light. They know that this is happening. And they're transforming themselves to act like to these spiritual practitioners that they don't like you either, okay? That whatever they're going to do is going to work. And it's all designed to trap them, okay? Pay close attention. I'm not making this up. This is the way that the hearts of men are being tested. And some of you who are divine beings, you're here for it. Okay, so your ancestors are allowing these attacks to come to you so that they can bring charges and finally judge the beings that's been doing this for a very, very long time. Trust me, it will not get to you. It will not get to you. But if you're part of Ma'at, okay, a karmic lesson here on this earth, you may have to be in a position to be that target. And it's to take them out. All right? And all divine beings know, if you are truly a divine feminine and if you are truly a divine masculine, you know we don't interfere in free will. Okay? We don't put curses on people. That's not what we do. Okay? We're here to show the experience, to teach our brothers and sisters there's a higher way to get things done. To educate the masses, to enlighten the message. Okay? Your ancestors are playing devil advocate. Some of the angels are even playing devil advocate. Some of these spiritual practitioners don't even realize that the beings that they're working with actually hate them. Sorry. I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news. They don't want to be summoned by you. They don't want to be targeted by you. But they're acting like they want to. Just so they know that the person that they're targeting is innocent, just so they can get back at you. Just some of y'all are not smart enough to see it. We want to play in magic. We're kids, okay? Everything is magical when you're a young soul. But when you're an ancient soul and you really know how these laws work, you don't touch it. You don't. You may have done that in a past life, but in this life, you've learned from that, okay? So you don't touch it. There are setups going on all over this world, all right? Now, here's the third thing I wanted to talk to you about. Divine feminines and divine masculines, okay? You're really going to have to do some self-reflecting, okay? Some of you, and I'm sorry to have to say it this way, some of you have misdirected anger. Misdirected anger. The only people or the only person you have to blame for your circumstances is you and your decision making. Feminines, please don't let me catch wind that you're out here targeting other feminines because you're afraid that your masculines might like them. Don't let me find out that you're that low in vibration. Okay? If you have an issue, feminines and masculines alike, if you have an issue with a spouse or a partner that is always looking at somebody else, okay, always putting you in some type of competition, your issue is not with the person that they're putting you in competition with, it's with your mate. Don't you understand that there are some who have not developed enough and nothing will ever be good enough for them? Are you going to go to war with every feminine or masculine that that person came in contact with because you're trying to protect your relationship? The only people that can protect your relationship is the people that's within that relationship. You are targeting people that have nothing to do with the issues that are going on in your relationship. You need to be blaming and pointing fingers at your partner because somebody has not healed. If the case is that every time you turn around, you got to worry about this person cheating on you or that person cheating on you, what sense does it make to go out and target the people that they're trying to cheat on you with? They're not in the relationship. You are. His. Do you understand? Stop trying to hold on to things that are toxic and unhealthy for you. The reason why we have so much dysfunction within girl groups is because of this factor. You have allowed a masculine energy, and I know this because I have done it in the past myself. Okay? Have allowed a masculine energy to turn you against your own sisters because he himself can't deal with his own lust. That's his issue. It's not that woman's. I don't care if she is a home wrecker. Do you understand? There's always going to be feminines and masculines out there that are just low. That have no issues coming in between you and your relationships. That has no issue of breaking up happy homes. But they're not the reason that it will become an unhappy home. It's the person that you are yoked with. Stop starting wars that you can't win and won't win because the person that you're targeting don't even realize what's going on. You have to ask yourself, masculines and feminines, number one, what is it that is so important about this particular person that is going to cause me to lose my own soul to try to keep them? Have you not learned to love yourself first? Okay? Number two, if I always have an issue with my mate cheating or wandering eyes or always looking for the best thing, the next best thing, then obviously there's something wrong with my mate, that they can't find peace and stability within themselves. That mate is looking for somebody to complete them. That mate is already showing you by devaluing your worth that you're not it. So why would you want to fight for somebody that don't even cherish you? Do you understand? You're beating your head against the wall. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face. That's what's happening. And you don't realize it. And you're getting filled with more and more bitterness and rage, but it's not directed at what it needs to be, which is self. Self. Okay? I know you thought that I was going to say that, mate. It's self. Because the truth of the matter is, you're allowing this behavior. And the more you try to fight it, you can't. There were ancient belief systems, okay, that our great-grandparents had. I'm not even talking about way ancient, like eons beyond. I mean, just having grandparents and great-grandparents. And some of women had the mentality that a piece of man is better than having no man at all. That was during an area of time where women didn't really value themselves or understand their worth. You're not in that dispensation of time. Do you understand? Some of our grandparents stayed in relationships, and we love that, all right? Because it was a model for us. You don't know how many conversations that I've had with certain masculines that was like, I want to get married right now. I like the way my grandfather and my grandmother stayed together for all of these years, no matter what. Guess what? Let's be real with this, okay? Let's break some of these things down. Let me teach you today about some of these relationships. Yes, your grandparents may have stayed together, but you have no idea what they went through. My grandparents stayed together too, but my grandfather had a whole nother family outside of it. Okay? And when it was beat in your mind that you must have these relationships where, once you get married, that's all. You will put up with a lot. And to your grandchildren, it will look like we got the strongest love no matter what. But a lot of times, these women were very much dependent on their husbands financially. And they tolerated a lot of things for the sake of the children, for the sake of the family unit. It does not mean that they had happy lives. Now, some of them did. And if you were a lucky one, that's the one that you grew up on. But a lot of us, that wasn't the case. And if you go back and start to think about the things that you saw when you were a little child that was going on with your grandparents and your great-grandparents and the fights and the issues, go back and remember. Let me know, was it just that they loved each other from the time that they married to all eternity, or did they tolerate that union for the sake of the family? Did they ever fulfill their missions? Were they ever the best versions of themselves? You alone know your value and your worth. And you don't have to explain that to anybody. You don't. As within, so without. Your beauty, your value, the essence of who you are, what the Creator has made you to be, the world is getting ready to see it. And those who benefited in some kind of way, either stifling your energy, your creativity, pretending to be you, any of those things, the world is getting ready to see that too. Lauryn Hill was like my favorite rap artist. And one of her verses I used to always say over and over again, you can't hold God peoples back that long. The chain of Shaitan wasn't made that strong. Trying to pretend that your word is your bond, but until you do right, all you'll do is go wrong. All right? You can't. You cannot hold God's people back that long. The chain of Shaitan was not made that strong. Do you understand? You're getting ready to evolve, babies. You are. Okay? And I'm watching you come out of your cocoons as beautiful butterflies. The ugly ducklings, you were never that. And now, what you were created to be, the essence of who you are, the inner beauty is getting ready to shine. Don't be surprised when people start saying, oh my God, you're beautiful, and you never felt that way. That was a trick of your enemies. Because the moment you become in alignment with who you really are, you can't help but be beautiful. And the world can't help but to see it. Remember in your meditations, as within, so without. And get ready for your transformation. Okay? I am Sophie. I love you all.